Alright, number one, domain and range. So for the domain, we just have to list, those are my brackets there. In brackets, I'm just going to list my x values. I'm going to go from least to greatest. So it looks like my smallest is -1. And then it goes 0. Looks like 1, 2, and 3. 3 happened twice, but you don't list it twice. It's only the domain once. And then for my range, I do the same thing with the y values. 7, 12, 4, 7, 2, 0. So 0 was the smallest one. Then I think it was 2, and then 4. 0, 2, 4, 7, and 12. Don't list the 7 twice, just list it once. There's my range. And then determine if it was a function. The answer to that is no, and the reason it wasn't is because the domain value of 2 was used twice. 3, 7, 3, 2, that's a problem. That makes it not a function. Okay, number 2, now we start plugging in. So we're going to do f of 4. So look at the f function, the 2x cubed plus 3x, plug in 4. Everywhere there's an x. So 2 times 4 cubed plus 3 times 4. Order of operations, you do the exponent first. So 4 cubed is 64. Now I can do the multiplication. 2 times 64 is 128. 3 times 4 is 12. So 128 plus 12 is 140. There's our answer. For number 3, now we plug in -3. So 2 times -3 cubed plus 3 times -3. -3 cubed is -27. 2 times -27 is -54. 3 times -3 is -9. So that gives us a total of -63. For number 4, plug in 1/2. One-half cubed is 1/8. So 2 times 1/8 is 2/8 or 1/4. Plus 3 times 1/2, that's 3/2. To make common denominators, instead of 1/4, I'll probably think of that as 2/8. Oops, sorry, I went the wrong way. I don't need to change that one, I need to change the other one. So leave that as 1/4. My bad. And then instead of 3/2, I'm going to think of that as 6/4. Now I have a common denominator of 4. 1 and 6 makes 7, 7/4. And then f of 2y. So 2 times 2y cubed plus 3 times 2y. When you cube 2y, you have to cube the 2 and you have to cube the y. So 2 cubed is 8, y cubed is y cubed. So 2 times 8 is, so we get 16y cubed plus 6y. Y cubed and y are not like terms, therefore you cannot combine them. That is the answer, 16y cubed plus 6y. Number 6, is that linear? We need to explain. So 4x plus 8 all over 2, it's one big fraction. So first thing I would do is split those into multiple fractions. So in the numerator there's 2 terms, there's 4x and there's 8. You can turn those into 2 separate fractions. So leave it over the denominator, so 4x over 2 plus, and then the 8 over 2. And then both of those can be simplified. 4 over 2 is just 2, so that's a 2x plus, and then 8 over 2 is 4. So we have f of x equals 2x plus 4. So when we're determining if it's linear, we're asking, is that in slope-intercept form? The y equals mx plus b. The f of x is like a y, so you're looking at 2x plus 4. Oh yeah, that's in that same form. So yes, it's linear. And for the explain, it can be written in slope-intercept form. Then number 7, find the x and y intercept, and then graph. So we want to remember that x-intercept, it's an ordered pair where the y value is 0, and the y-intercept is an ordered pair where the x value is 0. So you're going to plug those in and evaluate. So when you plug in 0 for y, to find your x-intercept, plug 0 in for y, 5 times y is 0, so we get 0 equals 15x minus 90. I would add the 90 over, divide by 15, so it would be 6. So we get 6, 0 for an x-intercept. Then for the y-intercept, plug 0 in for x, so we would have 5y, plug 0 in for x, 15 times x is 0, so that just goes away. I'm left with negative 90. So divide by 5. We should get negative 18. So then to graph that, I should have given myself a little more room to go down. We have to go all the way down to negative 18. Okay, then go down to negative 18 there on the y-axis. That's my y-intercept. My x-intercept is 6. And now just just connect those two dots. Number 8's in standard form, so that helps. Makes finding the x and y intercepts a little easier. So for x-intercept, plug in 0 for the y. For y-intercept, plug in 0 for x. Always for the opposite letter. So for x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. Left with 4x, and then minus 2 times 0 is just a 0. So I end up with 4x equals 12. Divided by 4, we get 3. So the x-intercept is 3. As for the y-intercept, plug 0 in for x. So 4 times x is just, or 4 times 0 is 0. I'm left with negative 2y equals 12. Divide by negative 2, and I get negative 6. So negative 6 for a y-intercept, 3 for an x-intercept. Connect the dots. Find the slope. Use the slope formula. 5 minus negative 3 equals 3 minus 1. Minus a negative is like plus, so 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Fraction in simplest form. We don't have to write 4 when we can just write it as 4. Number 10. 9 minus 11 over 24 minus negative 8. 9 minus 11 is negative 2. Minus a negative 8 is like plus 8, so 24 plus 8 is 32. Negative 2 over 32, I can divide them both by 2, so I get negative 1 over 16, negative 1/16. Number 11, 8 minus 4 over negative 1 minus negative 1. Minus a negative is like plus. 8 minus 4 is 4. Negative 1 plus, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. If I have 0 in the denominator, that is undefined. Or you could also say no slope. Either of those are acceptable. Not a 0 slope, but no slope. Back page. Write the equation of the line. First of all, we have to be parallel to this line. that tells me what the slope is. Parallel lines have the same slope. So this has a slope of 3/4. I will use the same slope, 3/4. At that point, I'm done with that equation. Use my point and my slope. Think about point-slope form. The ordered pair is my x1, y1, and 3/4 is my m. Plug them in. Y minus y1, which is 7. Sorry. So y minus 7 equals your slope of 3/4 times x minus x1, which is 3. Now I have to distribute the 3/4. So 3/4 times x is 3/4 x minus, that's a 3/1. So 3 times 3 is 9. I get 9/4. Then I need to add 7 to both sides of the equation. So y equals 3/4 x. And then here I have negative 9/4 plus 7. That's 7/1. I want to make a common denominator. I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 4, giving me 28/4. Negative 9 plus 28 is 19. So I get plus 19/4. And number 13. We don't know the slope. We're going to go ahead and find it first. Negative 4 minus negative 9, that's plus 9. 2 minus 4. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So I get negative 5/2 for my slope. So then, for our equation, y minus, we've got to pick one of the two ordered pairs to use. I'm going to use the 2, negative 4 just because they're smaller numbers. You can use the other one just fine. You get the same answer. But if I use 2, negative 4, plug in negative 4 for y1, my slope is negative 5/2 times x minus 2. Sorry. Y plus 4, distribute, negative 5/2 x, plus the 2's would, because negative times negative is positive, the 2's would cancel, you get 5. Subtract your 4. Alright, last problem. We've got a perpendicular line. We have to remember what we know about perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So we need to do the opposite reciprocal of negative 5/3. So we get positive 3/5. So I'm going to use a slope of 3/5. That's what we get out of this. So we're done with that equation. My order pair, I'm going to do x1, y1. So y minus 3 equals my slope of 3/5, positive 3/5, times x minus x1, negative 9. I guess minus a negative is like plus. Y minus 3, and then distribute 3/5 x. And that's like 9/1, so I get 27/5. And so then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Y equals 3/5 x. Well, and then off to the side, let's go ahead and find out what 27/5 plus 3 is. That's 3/1. To make a common denominator, I want to multiply by 5. So it's 15/5. It's the same thing as 3, but now I have a common denominator. 27 plus 15 is 42/5. So I get y equals 3/5 x plus 42/5. Now I'm finished. Thanks for watching.